You have said that you resent the idea of being called an African American, that
Yes.
you are a Black American.
Yes.
Explain.
I think that when they call Black people who were born and raised for generations in this country, if you accept the handle of African American, that says that you don't accept being an American American. You don't accept being born in Chicago or New York or Detroit or wherever you were born. For generations, your family has been here, you know? Built this country too. Sweat and tears and all that, you know, fought in every war, okay? So this is my country here. So I don't want to be called African American. I'm an American American. My people have died and done everything for this country.
We're still in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
The name of blasphemy, the word blasphemy means lies. That's what they educated the so-called Blacks and Latinos with in America. They educated us with lies. That's all we know. We don't even know our identity. And when you ask Black people, what's your nationality? What do they say? African American, people of color, Afro-American, Negro. The latest goofy crap that they're saying now is foundational Black Americans. That's dumb. That's not a nationality. You don't know who you are, so you got to come up with these stupid things every generation. So the newest thing is foundational Black Americans. That's dumb as hell. Anyway.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.
Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another episode of Crushing Christian Views. We're going to get right into it. Tonight we're going to talk about the reign of Alexander the Great. At least that's what they called him when I was in school. Some people say Alexander the Greek, but we know him as Alexander the Great. Also, what we're getting ready to read will go along with where it says in Galatians chapter 3, verse 28, I believe, there's neither Jew nor Greek. Christians always recite that verse without knowing its history or what it really means. We're going to give you some of its history right now, and we're going to go into First Maccabees in the 1611 King James Bible, and we're going to have Derek read that for us.
All right. This is First Maccabees chapter 1, verse 1. And it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip, the Macedonian,
which is a Greek,
who came out of the land of Chittim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes, that he reigned in his stead, the first over Greece.
The first over Greece. So we're talking about the one known as Alexander the Great. You learned about him in your elementary and middle school classes. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And made many wars, and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth.
These guys, even though many of them were homosexuals, they were really tough. Go ahead.
Verse 3. Went through to the ends of the earth, and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him. Whereupon he was exalted, and his heart was lifted up.
He was exalted, and his heart was lifted up, just like America is today. In fact, America has a mixture of ancient Egyptian qualities, Greece, Rome, and other evil nations that existed on the earth. Go ahead.
I think we're at 4.
Yeah.
Verse 4. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations and kings who became tributaries unto him.
Meaning this is where taxes started. The kings of the earth that were destroyed by Alexander the Great, they had to pay tributaries to him. They had to pay taxes to him. Go ahead.
Verse 5. And after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die.
So from what I understand, and you don't quote me on this, I believe he fell sick from a sexually transmitted disease. I believe that's the history on that. Go ahead.
Verse 6. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honorable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive.
So he called his servants together, Alexander the Great, and parceled his kingdom to some of his servants. Go ahead.
Verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died.
And then Alexander the Great died. What we got going on next?
Verse 10.
Verse 10, okay.
Verse 10. And there came out of them a wicked root Antiochus, surnamed Epiphanes, son of Antiochus the king, who had been a hostage at Rome. And he reigned in the 137th year of the kingdom of the Greeks.
Of the kingdom of the Greeks, okay.
Verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men.
Out of Israel went wicked men out of Israel. Those are our people.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen.
Make a covenant with the heathen
that are round about us. For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
Did you hear that, brothers and sisters? So Israel, our people, decided that they would join in with the heathen. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Then certain of the people were so forward hearing that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen.
So our people were given licenses to do after the ordinances of the heathen, wicked things. Go ahead.
Verse 14. Whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen.
So if you want to know where sports got started, the 50-yard dash and all this other stuff, it started in Greece. Verse 14, it says, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem, according to the customs of the heathen. According to the customs of the heathen. Go ahead.
Verse 15, and made themselves uncircumcised, and forsook the holy covenant.
And forsook the holy covenant. That's how you make yourself uncircumcised. We talked about this in another video when I was explaining how, or what Galatians 3:28 really means when it says there's neither Jew nor Greek. The Greek in that verse is talking about the northern kingdom of Israel that made themselves uncircumcised. Read that again, D.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1 verse 15. And made themselves uncircumcised and forsook the holy covenant and joined themselves to the heathen and were sold to do mischief.
And were sold to do mischief, just like your Christian pastors are. They're sold to do mischief. Was it verse 17 or
16?
Okay.
Now when the kingdom was established before Antiochus, he thought to reign over Egypt that he might have the dominion of 2 realms.
So this is how they took over Egypt. They had a strong backing, talking about the kingdom of Greece, and they went throughout Egypt and ransacked that place as well. Go ahead.
Verse 17. Wherefore he entered into Egypt with a great multitude, with chariots and elephants and horsemen and a great navy. Verse 18. And made war against Ptolemy, king of Egypt.
Yep.
But Ptolemy was afraid of him and fled, and many were wounded to death.
And many were wounded to death. The king of Greece went in Egypt and ripped that place apart. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Thus they got the strong cities in the land of Egypt, and he took the spoils thereof.
And he took the spoils thereof, the king of Greece. Go ahead.
Verse 20. And after that, Antiochus had smitten Egypt. He returned again in the 143rd year and went up against Israel and Jerusalem with a great multitude.
And then he went up against our people. Same thing they're going to do. America's going to do the same thing. As a matter of fact, I was watching Bishop Nathaniel from IUIC, and he mentioned that there's something going on with them right now and the court system. But he said he couldn't elaborate on it right now, but he's going to elaborate on it. Elaborate on it in the future, in the nearby future. So that's going to be interesting. Let's see. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 21, and entered proudly into the sanctuary and took away the golden altar and the candlestick of light and all the vessels thereof.
So they took the menorah and all the vessels thereof and the golden altar. Go ahead.
Verse 22, and the table of the showbread and the pouring vessels and the vials and the censers of gold and the veil and the crown and the golden ornaments that were before the temple, all which he pulled off.
And you better believe thousands of years later, they still have this stuff. Go ahead.
Verse 23, he took also the silver and the gold and the precious vessels. Also he took the hidden treasures which he found.
This is how they built up Europe at the end of the Dark Ages when they kicked the Moors out of Spain and other parts of Europe. This is how they built it up, by the things that they took from our people. Go ahead.
Verse 24, and when he had taken all away, he went into his own land, having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly.
Having made a great massacre and spoken very proudly. Go ahead.
Verse 29, and after 2 years fully expired, the king sent his chief collector of tribute unto the cities of Judah, who came unto Jerusalem with a great multitude.
So the king sent his chief collector of tribute so they can collect taxes on our people, the people of Judah. All right, go ahead.
Verse 30, and spake peaceable words unto them, but all was deceit.
But all was deceit. The same thing with America. America, when they slaughtered the Native Americans, they spoke peaceable words to them, but it was all deceit. Same thing. Go ahead.
For when they had given him credence, he fell suddenly upon the city and smote it very sore and destroyed much people of Israel.
Totally annihilated our people. Totally annihilated them. Same thing they did to the Native Americans over here in America. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 31, when he had taken the spoils of the city, he set it on fire.
He set it on fire.
And pulled down the houses and walls thereof on every side.
So just like when we were building Rosewood, Florida, Blacktown, New Jersey, Manhattan Beach, California, Lakeland near Georgia, Idlewild, Michigan, Black Wall Street, Oklahoma, Seneca Valley in New York, they did the same thing to us. They either burned our walls down and our businesses and our places, or they flooded our places like Lakeland near Georgia. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 37, thus they shed innocent blood on every side of the sanctuary and defiled it.
Go ahead.
Verse 41, moreover King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That all should be one people. That's what they tell us here in America, that we're all one people. When there's every race of people on the earth live in this country, they tell us we're all one people, but we don't all have the same values, especially black people. We certainly don't have the same values as the other nations. Read that part again.
This is 1 Maccabees chapter 1, verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people.
That all should be one people. Go ahead.
Verse 42. And everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king.
So everyone should leave his laws. Well, who is this everyone who should leave his laws? The Israelites. We had to leave the laws of God to take on their laws. What are their laws? 2 men can get married. 2 women can get married. You can eat pork. You can do whatever you want. That's their laws. Go ahead.
Verse 43. Yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion.
You see that? That's what the black Christian pastors do. They consent to America's religion. Go ahead.
And sacrifice unto idols and profane the Sabbath.
Yeah. So that's what happens here in America. They profane the Sabbath. We tell our own people the Sabbath is on the seventh day of the week, which is called Saturday. And they mock us and say, no, Jesus rose up on Sunday. No, Jesus rose up on Saturday. And we've already proven that in other videos. Go ahead.
Verse 44, for the king has sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land.
What are the strange laws of the land? Again, two men can get married. There's a bunch of genders, not just two. Celebrating Easter and all this other garbage. Go ahead.
Verse 45, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
So we're supposed to profane the Sabbath. That's what they want us to do here in America. That's why they got Saturday set up. Well, after you get paid on Friday evening, which starts the Sabbath, you go out and you party on Saturday, or you go out and spend your money at the malls or wherever people are spending all their money now. You're not supposed to do that. That's how you profane the Sabbath. Go ahead.
Verse 46, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Verse 47, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts.
And sacrifice swine's flesh, sacrifice the pig, and that's what America does, it sacrifices the pig, and unclean beasts. Because what else do they eat? Things that you're not supposed to eat. Catfish is an unclean beast. Anyway, go ahead.
Verse 48, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
That's why they don't want us to homeschool our kids, because based on this verse, that they should also leave their children uncircumcised by joining in with the American school system. I was talking to a young lady about this the other day, and I'm not sure if she got what I was saying. I was telling her that we as a nation of people should be homeschooling our children, because the American school system destroys our children. I know it damn near destroyed me. The things that I know today came after I was done with school, not while I was in school. Go ahead, D.
Verse 50, and whosoever will not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
You hear that? This is what happens during the end of the Dark Ages, when they gave the Moors an option to either worship the fake Caucasian Jesus or die, or at the very least get exiled. This is what happened at the end of the Dark Ages. A lot of you don't know anything about that. You Christian blacks and Latinos, you don't know your history. But here we are, willing and able to give you the history. You just have to learn. All right, go ahead.
That's the end of that.
That was the end of that?
Yep. For Maccabees.
All right, let's go into
Matthew 24.
Yeah, let's go into Matthew 24. And before D goes into Matthew 24, verse 56 in 1 Maccabees, I didn't think to read this. It says, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, this would be the book of the law, the 1611 King James Version. This would be the book of the law today. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, talking about the Greeks, the king of Greece and all of his servants, and when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire. They burned all the Bibles. All right, let's go into Matthew 24.
All right, this is Matthew chapter 24, verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
So the reason why Jesus said this to the disciples, because he had already ordered them to go out and preach and teach to the nations where the Israelites were, not to different races of people. It's talking about the Israelites. Now let me ask you a question, you Christians. Is Jesus an Israelite? Yeah, from the tribe of Judah. Is Moses an Israelite? From the tribe of Levi. Is Paul an Israelite? From the tribe of Benjamin. Is King David an Israelite? From the tribe of Judah. The Bible is a book written by Israelites for Israelites, not for the other races. All right, go ahead, D.
All right, now we're in Revelation. Chapter 19, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 12. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns, and he had a name written that no man knew but he himself. Verse 13, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood, and his name is called the Word of God.
His name is called the Word of God. We just read in Matthew 24 that Jesus' people will be afflicted and delivered up to be killed for his name's sake. What is his name's sake? The commandments of God, the same commandments the Greek kings wanted destroyed. We just showed you that in the Bible. What else we got? That's it?
You want to do a recap?
Yeah, we're gonna do a recap from the last video that we just did, that we've done, that hasn't come out yet. It'll be out probably tonight. So we're gonna do a recap to keep you guys familiarized with what's really going on and who the wicked people of the world are. Let's go with that.
All right. So we're still in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy.
The name of blasphemy, the word blasphemy means lies. That's what they've educated the so-called blacks and Latinos with in America. They educated us with lies. That's all we know. We don't know. We don't even know our identity. And when you ask black people, what's your nationality? What do they say? African American, people of color, Afro American, Negro. The latest goofy crap that they're saying now is foundational black Americans. That's dumb. That's not a nationality. You don't know who you are, so you got to come up with these stupid things every generation. So the newest thing is foundational black Americans.
LBA.
That's dumb as hell. Anyway, go ahead.
Verse 3, and I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wandered after the beast.
That would be the Roman Empire. They were taken over in, don't quote me on this, maybe 170 AD, I can't remember. But their deadly wound was healed in what's called, and we learned this in school, the Renaissance era, the rebirth. That would be the Roman Empire. That's where we live today, in the Roman Empire, aka America. Go ahead.
Verse 4, and they worshiped the dragon which gave power unto the beast.
Now, who's the dragon that he's able to give power to the beast? Jesus mentioned him in Revelation. Matter of fact, go to Revelation 2, verse 9. We'll go back to this. Revelation 2, verse 9. We're going to read to you who the dragon is, and Jesus mentioned him in Revelation 2, verse 9. Go ahead.
All right, this is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
That would be us. We're the ones in tribulation and poverty every day as a people. I know some of you Negroes, oh, I got money. I'm talking about us as a people. We're in tribulation and poverty. Go ahead.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews.
And I know the blasphemy, the lies of them that say they are Jews.
And are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
That's the red dragon. The red dragon has the power to get us arrested right now. They just recently got a Columbia student arrested for protesting on the side of the Palestinians. He just got arrested because the dragon has this long arm of the law. He can reach over here from Israel, the state of Israel, to get a kid at Columbia University arrested.
We're following some breaking news just into the Eyewitness Newsroom. We have a live look now at Columbia University, where students are walking out in protest of the detention of Columbia grad student Mahmoud Khalil. And it comes just as we've learned that another student who was involved in the protests at Columbia University was just arrested by agents from the Department of Homeland Security. According to officials, the student Luca Corda was arrested for overstaying her expired visa, which ended in January of 2022. Corda was also arrested in 2024 for her involvement with the campus protests. Eyewitness News reporter Darla Miles is at the scene covering the latest on these arrests and planned protests. Look for her reports later today on Eyewitness News.
Read that part again. Okay, yeah, no, it's okay. That's who the dragon is. And Jesus, matter of fact, go to Revelation 3, verse 9. Revelation 3, verse 9. Jesus mentions the dragon again in Revelation 3, verse 9.
This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
So there's a day coming, brothers and sisters, very soon, where God is going to show the whole world, including the synagogue of Satan, that it's us that he loved. See, right now, people look at us and they say, oh, you niggers, you have nothing, you're lazy, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. God is going to show the whole world that it's us that he loved. And when he does this, everybody's going to bow at our feet. Everybody, including our own people who wouldn't accept this. All right, where we going?
You want me to read Revelation 2:9 again, or go back to 13?
Let's go back to 13. Yeah, brothers and sisters, we want you to understand that this thing is almost over. I know some of you are going to say, well, they've been saying that for 2,000 years. Yeah, but you don't understand the prophecies. We do. So we know it's almost over. Not to mention, we see these Edomite men on YouTube every day now talking about World War III because they know it's near. Go ahead.
This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 4. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?
Same thing they say about America. Who can make war with America? No single country is going to go to war with America. It takes a bunch of countries to go to war with America, because who is like America? That's the fourth beast on the earth. The Roman Empire is the fourth beast on the earth, which translates to America, which is the fourth beast on the earth, or also the eighth king, which came out of the seventh king, which is Great Britain. I know a lot of you, that's too much for a lot of you, but if you were to study diligently, you will find these things out for yourself, or at least watch our videos and some of the other Israelite camps. Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 18. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
Read that again, D, so they can understand why God used this term beast all the time. It's talking about men. Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 18. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
The men that God talk about are beasts. When God uses the term beast in this context, he's talking about men. We just read that to you. What do you got going?
This is Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field.
The serpent is a man, and he was more subtle than any other man of the field,
which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, yea, hath God said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
That's it?
Yeah,
we just wanted to prove once again that the serpent in the garden also is not a talking snake. Eve was mesmerized by the serpent, this man, for whatever reason. It's even to this day, it's crazy to all the men of God, because Adam had everything. He had dominion over the entire earth. He named all the animals. He named all the fish in the sea. all the sea mammals. He named all the birds flying in heaven, which will be the sky. He did all this, and his wife still went with the serpent. That's why, listen, brothers, don't take this serious when you hear these women talking about they gotta have a man that makes 6 figures, they gotta have a man to do this, they gotta have a man to do that. Adam had everything, and Eve still went with the serpent, the evil one. Just like today, a black woman will have a good guy, and she'll leave him for a thug who is actually on his way to jail to do 20 years in jail, and she'll be loyal to him for 20 years.
Or if he's Esau, a corny Esau, she'll be loyal to him.
You see that, brothers and sisters? So don't take it serious when these sisters talk about the man got this, the man got that. Adam had everything, and Eve left and went with the serpent. And I dare anybody to call me out on that. Anybody, come into the studio and talk with me right here on camera about this, and we will totally destroy you on camera. Go ahead.
All right, this is Daniel chapter 7, verse 7. And after this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast.
A fourth beast, that's America.
Dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
Because America has stamped the residue, meaning the people. That's what the residue is, the people. America has stamped the people. Go ahead.
And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it.
Because none of the other kingdoms is like America. Go ahead.
And it had 10 horns.
That's it?
Then going to verse 11.
Okay.
Verse 11. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake, I beheld even till the beast was slain, and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame.
So, where are we going to find what Derek just read? Where else are we going to find that where the beast is given to the burning flame? What do we have next?
Verse 12.
Okay.
As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away, yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
So why are the rest of the beasts' lives prolonged when the fourth beast was given to the burning flame? Because the other nations have to come into the kingdom when Christ comes. In the 1,000-year reign of Christ, the other nations are going to come into the kingdom and serve as slaves. That's why their lives are prolonged. But the fourth beast, which is America, will be totally burned. Go ahead.
All right, so we're back in Revelation chapter 17, verse 1.
This goes along with what Derek just read out of Daniel. Watch this.
And there came one of the 7 angels, which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. Verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast.
A scarlet-colored beast. Scarlet is what color? Red. The beast is red. Esau is red. The Bible says that Esau would reign over Jacob until the end of time, and then Jacob will take over and reign. Esau is that scarlet-colored beast. Go ahead. You can start over.
Okay, this is Revelation chapter 17, verse 3. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy,
lies,
having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Those 10 horns represent European kingdoms. What else we got?
Verse 8. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition.
The bottomless pit is Europe, and the reason why it says that fourth beast will ascend out of the bottomless pit is because America came out of Great Britain. Go ahead.
And they that dwell on the earth shall wander, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is.
That would be you black Christians. That would be you Charleston Whites and you Anton Daniels. You're the ones who are beholding the beast. because he's so wonderful to you because you got a couple of dollars in your pocket. Okay, what do we have next?
Verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
That's what the prophet Daniel told you. That's what the prophet Daniel was talking about. The fourth beast on earth with the iron teeth and all that stuff. That's who Daniel was talking about. What else we got?
That's it.
That's it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, just to recap to what we talked about earlier in the video about the kings of Greece. Let me read something to you because I keep telling you, Black and Latino Christians, that neither Jew nor Greek does not mean what you want it to mean. It means what God says it means. So we're going to go to, let's see. We're going to go to the definition of Greece in the Bible Dictionary on page 207. It says here, Grecia is Greece, the home of the Hellenized. Greeks and Grecians, however, are to be distinguished. Greeks are generally those of Hellenic race, meaning they're Greece. They're Greeks. Not Greece, they're Greeks. Meaning, you know, what you think a Greek looks like today. That's what this is talking about. Greeks and Grecians, however, are to be distinguished. Greeks are generally those of Hellenic, meaning Hellenized, a Hellenized race, and probably, or it says Acts 16:1, 18:4, and probably John 12:20. But the word may be used to indicate non-Jews, foreigners, and aliens. Romans 1:16, Grecians were Greek-speaking Jews. You hear that, brothers and sisters? Because the northern kingdom of Israel was dispersed into the kingdom of Greece and therefore became Hellenized. So that's why in Galatians it says there's neither Jew nor Greek, because God is going to bring back the northern kingdom of Israel to the southern kingdom of Judah. That's what the Bible is all about, bringing back the blacks and Latinos together, which also includes the Native Americans, which are mixed up with the so-called blacks and Latinos. Here it says, Grecians were Greek-speaking Jews, folk of the dispersion, meaning the diaspora, because they were taken into Greece as slaves. All right, that's all we got. Brothers and sisters, we just want to say shalom to you. We're glad you joined us for another lesson. We're trying to educate our people, so the quicker our people wake up, the 1/3 of our people, the 2/3, they're going to hell. But the 1/3 of our people, the faster you wake up, the quicker we can get our own country, our own wealth, become healthy, and be young forever. That's what the Bible promises us. But it seems like some of you don't want that because you're so in love with this wicked country called America. You want to stay in this wicked life. Not the rest of us. The Israelites, we want out of this. We want our own country. We want our own land. We want our own wealth. We want our women to be beautiful and humble, not loudmouth and disruptive. So, with that being said, we want to say like, comment, subscribe, donate to the Cash App so that we can continue with this. And we'll see you on the next one. Shalom.
I am the punishment of God. And if you had not committed great sins, God would not have sent a punishment like me upon you.